Hey guys, how you doing? It's Rhino Doc here, coming to you from the Bear Cave. So, I was looking at SoCalPreppers website, and he was talking about that he's now a ham. And I became a ham. Wasn't really thrilled about having to do it when I was for work. One of the things I do is I run our radio communications section for amateurs. It's called Racies. And so because at work we have that, I got put in charge of it, so they figured since I'm running it, I should know about it, so I went to ham class. That was the best thing that I think that they made me do, and I really got excited about it. It's really easy. You can use one of these little family service radios. You can use a ham radio. A couple different things go on there. One is that you're FCC licensed. Two, depends on what level you have, it's your bandwidth that you get, or your real estate, as Gordon West likes to say. He's one of the ham gurus around who taught the class. Guy that wrote the book, actually. So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm talking to you today about communications, emergency communications. Now, with the storms that have just occurred over the East Coast, some of you probably are affected by it. I had family back there that was affected by it on Long Island. And it's, we still haven't had, outside of email, we still haven't had really great communication with him. The phones are still kind of jammed up over there. So basically what we got going here is that ham radio gives you an option through repeaters that you can talk longer distance than, say, CB. And that's why I think ham is the best choice to use for preparedness. For preparedness. So let's go over some communication stuff here. If you're just around your neighborhood, inside your home, in your block, maybe about a mile away, depends on what brand you purchase or how good they are. You can get like these family service radios. This one here is a tri-square radio. It's based on the 900 megahertz system. It's basically what you use for your cordless telephones, if you will. This is supposed to be better. Still, you're talking about line of sight, which means that no repeaters, and it's, say, a mile or 2 miles away that you can communicate with this. If you're somewhere flat, you might be able to go further. That's the idea of line of sight. So these are pretty good. Now, what I like to use this for is pretty much practice. I give this to my son. We play with it almost like a walkie-talkie, and we use these for that. We also use the tri-square radios for our drills for our Community Emergency Response Team group, our CERT program. That we use for drills. However, we've moved away from these because we found there's some serious limitations, and we now have a commercial band radio that we use that for, which is like the ones that you see, like say at Target or other shopping areas where they have a little earpiece in, the commercial band radios. So those are better. But this tri-square radio is okay. Like I said, it's okay for practicing and whatnot, but I wouldn't rely on it as your main source of communication. If you want to have it to where you're walking back and forth, if you have, like, say, large property, it's not bad. Good option. But this is, again, it's okay. Not the best. It's not going to be a good communication. Now, if you want to have communication across town, possibly, if you hit it right on some of the repeaters, you can go nationwide with some of this communication stuff. We'll get into the repeaters later. But there's an option here. And I like to use the ham radios. Now, I have a couple different ones. This one here is the Yaesu VX7R. This radio here is kind of complicated to use. Lots of buttons down here. But basically, if you just need to push the talk, this will get it well. It's what they call tri-band radio. It's kind of get a little deep for this particular conversation. But basically, you have this here. You can use it. It's just a really good radio, although kind of complicated. Then you have over here, which is this is a Kenwood radio, different style, has a couple different features on it, and this does a lot of good work too. And you can get even simpler radios than these two. But these are the two radios that I have right now. As you see, I have larger antennas on them because they go further distance. Each antenna does a little bit something different than the ones that come with it. It gets your longer range. And that's basically when you think about antennas, is it gets you range. So you see the guys that have like the big wangers on their trucks or their cars driving down because they're trying to get more range with their antenna. You can also boost them with a power supply pack. I have one of those too. It's inside my car with what they call magnet antenna, which is an antenna that magnets to your car, so you can take it off and you go places. The other thing that I suggest, I was never really big into the scanner head type guys, but I do have a scanner. It's programmed, and the scanner you cannot talk on. Obviously, it just scans the frequencies. But what I like about this is that if you're doing communications, you have the ability to have your radio, your transmitter, your transceiver, if you will, on one channel, and you can take this scanner, put it on, and you can listen to the other channels and see if there's communications that are going on. For disasters like the hurricane that just was back east, or the earthquake that occurred, those type of things, this is really good to listen to because you can get a lot of more information as far as what's going on if you're on your primary talking frequency, talking to your circle, okay, or a net, if you will. This is a really good tool to have around as well. This, I don't know, I think it's like $100 or maybe even less. Pretty cheap thing here. You can just grab it, carry it around, throw it in your car. It's a portable, nice thing. Looks like a walkie-talkie, but it's not. These two together are a really good combination for communication, especially communication during disasters. Now, I am a tech. The lowest class that you could get as far as ham radio goes. That, I think, is all you really need to get started to do it. If you really want to get into it, you can go into your general and your extra classes. What that gives you when you have more title to your name is it just gives you more real estate that you can speak on. And that's about it. Realistically, as a tech, you're going to be able to get everything that you need to do on this radio, unless you're really into it, that type of stuff. The funny thing about with hams is that you're going to hear them a lot talk about antennas, because antennas are really the most important thing that's out there as far as getting your information out, right? Because without a good antenna, you can't receive, or nor can you transmit. So that's where the crutch of this whole entire hobby lies. It lies in the antenna, and not so much in your hardware down here. Basically any radio that you get is going to function. Some just have more features than others. It's like a cell phone. Your basic cell phone, make phone calls, that's going to work fine for you. If you want to get internet, you can get internet with this. If you want to get internet, if you want to do your other things, but you have to get better phones, right? So that's basically what that's all about as far as the radios go. So anyway, I wanted to welcome SoCal Prepper into the ham ranks. Like I said, I was kind of forced into it, but I'm glad I was. SoCal Prepper, you're going to have a great time with ham radio. Anyway, this is KI6RBW, also known as Rhino Doc, signing out.